Finding Faith in Funny. My name is Chase. Thank you for listening. Here we go again. Another episode, another interview, and another intro recorded from the comfy floor of my walk-in closet next to the bathroom for where I do my business. You didn't need to know that. You didn't need to know any of this, but I don't know how to ever start these things, so here we go. Do have a guest today. Today's guest is Dr. Fauci and his attorney. I'm just kidding. This is not a political show. And, again, if you've listened to previous episodes, you've already heard that I have a past where I dealt with lying a lot, which is why we don't do politics on here, because I don't really trust anything the news says about anything or anyone. So we try and, find our faith in humanity in other ways by laughing at it. Now, have you ever been to a comedy show where the microphone kept cutting out, or a musical production or a play where you couldn't really understand all the lyrics? Chances are you didn't blame the actors or the comedians. You just knew something was off. That's why today's guest is fascinating to me. See, his name is Chops. And if you're thinking, okay, his name's not really Chops, you're probably right. It's probably not Chops. But the beauty of it is I've known Chops for several years. I've never once asked him his real name because I don't care. I don't want to know what his real name is, because to me, he's just Chops. That's all I want him to be. So, for the sake of this episode, his name is Chops. And while you may not recognize his face, you've almost certainly experienced some of his work, or work that, people like him, what am I trying to say? You might not recognize his face, but you've certainly seen his type of work at some level, because he's the sound producer behind so many musical theater productions and comedy shows, and he does improv. And he's been there and done the sound for several of the shows I've done. His job is to make everyone else around anyone, his job is to make everyone sound great. He's also in charge of the lighting, makes everyone look great. And if he does it perfectly, most people will never even know he's there. So today, with my conversation with Chops, we talk about life behind the soundboard, the pressure of getting everything right in real time, some hilarious backstage stories, and what he's learned about people and finding joy while helping others take center stage. So turn your volume up, because it would be pretty embarrassing if this episode about a sound producer had bad audio, which ironically it kind of does. It was recorded on some cheap microphones from TikTok shop, which normally they work pretty good, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't their day when we recorded it, and I didn't realize what was going on until it was too late. It's fine. You'll hear every word, but it is a little embarrassing to interview a sound engineer and have it sound like what you're about to hear. Hopefully you get past that and you just enjoy my conversation with the great, the one and only Chops. So Kristen sent you a text saying I wanted to interview you.
Yeah.
That freak you out at all?
A little bit.
Why is that?
It's just like, why? Or why me?
I don't know.
Why am I so special?
It's most everyone. Like, I'll talk to anyone. So, and obviously you're the sound tech here.
I am.
How long have you done that?
I've been with the city for 5 years doing sound.
What did you do? Were you doing sound before that, or did you learn here?
I did sound on and off before that.
Yeah?
Just minor productions here and there.
What's your favorite production that you've been part of?
One of my favorites was Rock of Ages, done by the Stage Door. That
was one of the funnest shows I've been part of.
That was such a great experience. Whenever anyone asks if there's a show that I want to redo, that's the show that I want to do again.
That's the music I like.
Yeah.
And I saw the movie with Tom Cruise and all that. And it was one of those movies that's so bad that it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
And me and my friend Breck went to the Scorpions concert, and then the next night Rock of Ages came out, and we went to that, and we're like, this was just like the best week ever.
It sounds like a damn good week.
It was a great week. It was. What else?
Plays?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've done tons of them. One that I was actually in that I really enjoyed was Picasso de la Panagile, which is a Steve Martin play.
Oh, you were in that with Dean.
Yep,
everyone.
Yep, Dean, Eric Leapart.
That was a funny one because it breaks the fourth wall. Like it's very Steve Martin-esque.
And I was the character that broke the fourth wall.
That's
I was the bartender that got to jump into the audience and go grab a program. And
I knew one of my favorite things is go to a show I know nothing about and just let it. And so I knew nothing about Picasso. So when Kristen and I got there, all she said is Steve Martin wrote this. I was like, I'm in. I don't want to know a single other thing about this show.
Yeah, I have found that I love just going to a show blind and just seeing what happens.
Do you like
no expectations?
Do you actually like being on stage in the show?
Not really. It's got to be special show, special role, special cast.
Okay, so what were you in Rock of Ages or no?
I just did the sound for that one.
Okay, just did the sound.
I would have been in Rock of Ages. I like the character of Lonnie. I like characters that break that fourth wall.
Yeah.
And that's Lonnie's whole thing. He's the narrator character that breaks it. And those are the roles that I do enjoy.
You know Trey Patterson?
Oh yeah.
So he and I were on a show together. Kayenta brought a bunch of different performers for their donors or whatever. And I was talking to him because at the time I was struggling with stage fright. Like I just couldn't get comfy on stage, which was weird because I've done it for so long. And then I had this like 3-month period where I bombed really bad in Kanab and I couldn't get out of my head about it. And he's like, you know what you need to do? I was like, you need to do a musical or be on stage in a play where you don't have to worry about the material, but just get comfortable with that, not caring. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So props to you for being able to do that.
It's strange. Like, opening night, you get the jitters and everything, but
yeah,
past that, like you just kind of fall into it and you start having fun. And
I think the audition would be the worst part for me.
Auditioning is rough.
I don't want to sit there with a monologue and then sing a song to people who are trained and not react.
Yep. Nobody enjoys the audition process. That's not a fun process.
The first time I auditioned for Dixie's Got Talent years ago, like 2018, it was at 8 a.m. at the college cafeteria in front of 6 judges, and they were trained. They were told not to react, and I just was like, and I was told by noon I didn't advance. I was like, well, no kidding. This is not. But now it's all submit your videos, so it's fine. Okay. Whether on stage or running sound, what's the biggest disaster you've had to fix really quick?
Oh, I mean, I do tech. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So
I've seen it all.
I've seen it all. I've had lights go out. I've had power outages during shows. Catastrophe microphone issues. Just constant feedback. I've had microphones just turn off.
Does the director ever just glare at you in those moments?
I've had a few where I can tell people are turning around and looking straight at me. So I sit behind the audience, so I can see the audience, unlike actors on the stage that are blinded by the lights. Yeah. No, I can see the audience. When they turn around, I'm like, I'm trying. I'm doing it. I'm trying, I promise.
You just flip them off and go, you come do it.
I've had those days too. I've had days where people are barking at me, telling me how to do my job. I'm like, okay, if you think you know how to do it, take over. Good luck.
It's like, I laugh because I'm the guy who yells at the TV, who screams at a player to catch the ball. I'm like, if I had 11 guys trying to take my head off the moment I touch the ball, I'm not touching the ball. But I can sit here on the couch and be pissed about it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. What is the strangest sound that you've had to create for a performance?
That I've had to create,
or the strangest sound effects you've had to make for a show, or find.
I can't take full credit for making this one, but I did assist in creating a fart sound effect for the current play that's running, the Cottage.
Cottage, yeah.
And when I say a fart sound effect, it's not just like a two. It's
a full on.
It's a good amount of time.
So when you say you helped make it, you didn't hold a microphone up to your ass.
No.
Okay. I don't need to know. That's all I needed to know. Didn't happen.
Yeah, that one. Usually, when I'm doing sound effects, I like to personally record whatever sound effect it is. Sometimes I can't quite get that, so I just I'll go find sound samples, royalty-free sound samples, and then I edit them. I throw it into some audio software. I'll extend out the time. I'll make some cuts, splice multiple together. Usually what I do is I splice like 3 things together to make a sound effect.
So like a doctor looks at an x-ray, we see the bone, but like the doctor can see a bunch of stuff. Are you kind of like that with sound? Like, can you hear stuff that a common audience person's not going to hear? That
I used to not think that I did, but again, I've been doing this for so long. I pick up on the smallest things, and I'm like, man, that sucked. And the audience, like, I never even noticed.
Well, because Kristen will tell me like what went wrong in a play that I've been at. I'm like,
didn't notice, and that's one thing I tell myself all the time. At the end of the night, is it might have been a bad day for me, but the audience doesn't know.
So, can you go to a show that you're not part of, just sit and enjoy? Are you critiquing?
I can't just sit and enjoy. I'm critiquing always. Usually the tech side of things is what, because that's my specialty. So that's what I'm usually critiquing. But actors, costumes, like I critique everything. I can't even go to a movie anymore. I've taken too many film classes, so now I have all the like technical side of film too, and I just can't enjoy anything for the sake of enjoying it. It has to be good for me to enjoy it.
See, I can't watch a Netflix comedy special. I mean, I will, but I don't enjoy it as much as being there because I don't like perfected editing down stuff. I want to see the mistakes. I want to see the heckler. I want to see the guy fumble over his words. I want to see the opener bomb. And so like I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it, but the whole time I'm going, what did they just skip? Like what happened that they had to redo?
Yeah, there's so much that gets cut out in those. And
well, because I went to Brian Regan's specially filmed at Tuacahn.
Yeah.
I was at that. And at the end of the show, at the end of the show, because I went to the second night, they did 2 nights, I think. The second night, they had everyone stay still, and then they said, we're going to reintroduce him and let him do his first joke again. And that drove me nuts because I'm like, okay, that means the joy of everything that was captured the first time you walked on stage has to be recreated, and you can't recreate that.
Nope.
It has to be. And so I'm curious if you can just go watch anything and not look for.
Nah, I'm constantly looking. I mean, the first thing I do when I walk into a live theater space or concert space is look up at the lights. I'm just so trained to look up, see what lights are being used, see where the lights are positioned, where they're aimed. Like it's the first thing that I do, whether I want to or not. Just out of habit, I walk in and I look straight up at the lights.
That's so great. Have you ever accidentally left someone's mic on and had a hot mic moment?
No, I'm perfect. I have never done that ever in my years. Yeah, it happens. It's absolutely happened.
You get like the guy who's like cussing under his breath and his mic's on. You're like, oh crap.
I've had that. I've had so I usually tell actors ahead of time before opening night and everything. I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm quick. I'm not perfect. I usually catch people right before they enter is when I turn on their mic, and then right after they exit is when I turn it off.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't hit that button immediately when they walk off because I'm doing something else. I'm balancing another microphone that's live on stage, and it takes me just a second to turn it off.
Yeah.
And so often people just walk off stage after, they had a rough scene or whatever, and they walk off stage and you just hear just underneath their breath cursing. And I'm like, oh, mute them real quick. And I'm going to talk to them afterwards. And hey, give me a couple seconds before you say a single word.
So you're pest control, because people who hire a pest control person are like, hey, there's still bugs here. He's like, yeah, I'm controlling them. I can't just make them not go in your house.
I can't just stop it on a dime. Like
no, I can limit it down, but
yeah. And then I've had mics accidentally turn on while they're backstage, and you hear some backstage chatter, and you're just like, oh, mute them.
I didn't realize it's a big no-no to like tap on the mics.
Oh yeah, it's not preferred.
Well, so one of my favorite comedians is really good at sound effects, and he always like hits it on his lap to imitate kicking a ball, so he gets the sound going, and it's awesome. I didn't realize till later that he has his own microphone, so he doesn't matter, because comedy clubs kept getting mad at him. So one of the first dynamic wit shows we did here, the mic was shutting out because I was covering the antenna, and so I was tapping on the thing, and afterwards Dylan was like, "Don't ever tap on my mics again.
Yeah, it's not good for the equipment. It causes it to just wear out faster. But a lot of people don't know that because they do see the comedy specials where people are tapping on the mic
or
all the
dropping
time,
the mic,
or mic drop after an awesome solo. People don't realize that wears out the mic so fast, and mics are expensive. All tech equipment is so astronomical.
No, we're recording on $30 mics that feel like they could be $2 right now. It's just, but I mean, does a job for what I need to. Okay, so your job is making everyone else sound good. Like your whole job is making it look good. Do you ever feel overlooked? Because so many times, like the actors, everything get all the praise, but you're the one who did it.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like I know that if I do my job right, I go unnoticed.
Yeah,
that's the sign of a good compliment. Tech. Yeah, if nobody notices what I'm doing, I've done it right. Unless for very special moments where, like, if I made a really good sound effect, or if I've done a really good vocal effects. I've had people, rare, but I have had people after a show come up to me and be like, "Hey, were you adding this reverb in this moment?" And I'm like, "Yeah, thank you for noticing." They're like, "That's so cool. So never would have thought of that." So
the attaboy helps.
Yeah, it's nice to get noticed, but I also just kind of accept it when it doesn't happen.
That means you did your job right. If no one's yelling at you, you're good.
Yeah, that's the last thing that I want, is for somebody at the end of the show to be like, "Hey, you did sound right. It sucked. Do better."
I used to just, anytime I'd go to open mic or be any comedy show, I was just, all right, God, don't let me be the worst one. That's all I cared about. Yeah. And then after a while, I'm like, I don't, like, because if I see someone bombing, I feel bad for them, but I love every second of it. Yeah. And it's because I've been there. I've been that person, and I know they're going to be okay.
No, I've had struggles, and that's what you got to do. You just got to struggle through it sometimes.
No, when I started really doing it hard, like I had to choose, like, hey, I don't care how tonight goes. I'm coming back next week. Like, doesn't matter. And that really helped because I bombed really hard one night in Salt Lake, like 2016, 17, something. And there was a dude I was really trying to impress. He was big up in the scene. I was like, I'm going to show him, like, and I could not have bombed harder if I just did nothing on stage. It was so bad, but mentally I had already decided I'm coming back. Like, it didn't matter. But so yeah, I was looking for the attaboy and got nothing. So you've worked a lot of comedy shows. Is there a specific comedian that is locally here? I'm not including me because you're always very nice to me, but is there anyone else locally that gets you going, like makes you laugh?
Oh, I don't go to many stand-up shows. Okay. I work stand-up shows, but I don't get to be a participant audience for a stand-up show. So it's a little bit different when I'm working it versus actually attending.
Okay.
However, I am involved in the improv scene locally, and there's a few of the improvisers that, no matter what they say, at some point in the night, they will get me to genuinely laugh so hard that, like, my eyes tear up.
Bald Nate for me.
Bald Nate is definitely up on that list. Greg will always get me at some point in the night. Greg Belknap.
Trey will get me going. I've seen him do it.
I've done a lot of improv with Trey, and he's one of those, like, you don't expect when he's going to make you laugh.
No, because it
comes out of nowhere. Suddenly he'll just say one word and you're just like in tears on the floor because it was just so unexpected.
I've seen that guy smile maybe 3 times, but he's made me laugh every time I've just had a conversation with him.
Yeah, no, he's a funny guy.
I didn't know you'd done improv.
Huh? Yeah, I've been doing it since 2016, since the start of So Youth Comedy down here.
So you knew Chewy and all that. Yep. Me and Chewy didn't get along at one point because I was trying to collab with him, be like, hey, let me do stand-up, and he just wouldn't do it because he's like, they're 2 different worlds. I'm like, in a big city, yes. In a town where we're getting everything to go, they can't be. Like, let's work. And he's just like, so I had some rough feelings towards Chewy. I don't know if he'd ever remember any of the email exchanges we had. But
tough to say.
He told, it was. again, have you worked with Creed Rose?
Oh, Creed. You know what? There we go. There's a stand-up
That
comedian.
guy. So I've been going to open mics. I've worked with him several times on other shows, but at open mics, when he goes up, every other comedian just sits and it's like, here we go. It doesn't matter what he says.
For him.
He kills me.
I met Creed with improv.
Yeah, because I knew he was
when I met him. One of the funniest kids I've ever done improv with.
It's just so awkward that it has to be funny.
It has to be, yeah. And then I didn't know that he did stand up for a while, and I finally just happened to catch him at a show for stand up, and I was like, dude, that was incredible.
So the first time he ever did stand up, I was hosting the show for Ed Tracy, who's out of town, and he had me host. And Ed's like, this kid Creed wants a chance, I'm gonna give him a chance. I was like, all right, whatever. And he went up there and he had his notes like written on his hand. And
that sounds exactly like
and he would like get to a spot and he'd like forget, and he wouldn't freeze like a lot of people do. And he'd just be like, 1 sec, and he'd read his hand, and even that was funny. I'm like, okay.
No, he makes a joke out of the entire act, the entire presence. That's what makes him funny, is it's all one act on that stage, and it doesn't matter how he gets perceived in his mind.
He's already
accepted that that's what's going to happen.
With the sound stuff you do, I assume you have to appreciate that comedians only need a microphone.
Yes. Yeah. Comedy shows are definitely a lot easier to run outside of the two bigger issues of tapping microphones. And comedians have a fun thing of holding microphones by the very end of the microphone.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it. It's
because we saw Kevin Nealon do it once on Comedy Central, and we thought it looked cool. That's really what it is.
But a lot of wireless microphones these days, all the antennas are at the bottom, as you know.
As I know.
As you've been educated.
Yeah.
I
haven't done it since.
When you're holding a microphone by the bottom trying to look cool like that, you could cut out the signal.
All it is we've seen other comedians on TV holding them a certain way. We thought that looks cool. There's no other reason for us to do it.
Yeah.
And so then I found other comedians who hold it more up by the mic. And I'm like, okay, I can focus on that now.
Yep. No, those are the two big issues I run into with comedians. Other than that,
I actually prefer the cord, and I don't know why. It's like it's
I
a nervous thing. I have a nervous tick where I'm like, I need something to fiddle with. Otherwise, my hand is shaking.
I prefer to hold the cord as well in my offhand. One hand on the mic, one hand on the cord, and I've used the cord as like part of the act before. The act of pulling the cord around as I'm moving stage, because I like to move back and forth. I have some movement in it, right? And I've always found it a little bit more entertaining for me. It's a little bit of a game. Like, how long is this cord? Can I pull this?
Yeah. The only time I benefited from not having a cord is I was part of a show at Station 2. This was 2022. And like 15 people showed up, but they did it downstairs where it was like really long. So the stage was here. Then there was like 30 chairs, and then 15 people were in the back. And a few people went up before me. The speakers were too loud. It was a disaster show. And it just dawned on me. I'm like, they're too far away to even care what anyone's saying. So I got on stage like, you guys are sitting back there because you're, the comedian's worst fear is everyone sitting in the back. An audience worst fear is a comedian with a cordless mic who doesn't care. And so I jumped off and I kicked all the chairs out of the way, and I went and sat right in the middle of them and did my jokes in front of them. I've never been that brave before in my life. That's the only time having a mic or a cordless mic worked to my advantage.
That's a good one.
And then after that, every other comedian after me still went up on the stage and was like, okay, well, thanks for killing
you say yourself apart from them.
I left. I was like, well, that's all for me.
Yep.
Who's a bigger diva? Actors, musicians, or comedians? Ooh. I have what I think the answer is, but I want to know.
Ooh, I mean, acting is drama.
It is.
But I've run into a few musicians that are pretty needy.
See, I was going to guess comedian or musician for the fact that we just have it in our mind that we're going to be the most important thing on the stage and everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, well, you get some actors that do that same thing.
But I also heard a quote from Dana Carvey that I like, that the most talented ones are the nicest ones. The divas are the ones who are kind of like, who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's truth to that.
I think there is a little bit of truth to that.
I'm not trying to get you to throw anyone under the bus.
No, I'm not going to say names, but I do think there is a little bit of truth to that. I think the ones that are feel entitled are the ones that are not necessarily the best at what they do.
You've been around improv enough. Can you tell before a joke's delivered if it's going to bomb? Because sometimes I feel like I can tell before the third word based on how the person's acting. Like if they really believe what they're saying is funny, or if they're just trying, and that's when I can tell if something's going to bomb.
I think you can. I think if you've been around comedy, you can see it in stand-up because stand-up is it's predetermined what they're going to say.
Yeah.
And if they hesitate at any point, I think it's going to bomb. Improv's a little bit different just because half the time any improviser doesn't know what the next thing that comes out of their mouth is.
Yeah.
So there's no preparing for if it's going to be funny or not.
No, and you're not up there alone.
Right.
You have someone else who can.
Hopefully you're not in a scene by yourself. You can have somebody else to kind of carry you through it if you bomb.
I feel like Bald Nate's one of the few that I know personally that could do a scene alone and just destroy.
Absolutely.
Creed probably the same way.
I've seen Creed do scenes by himself. He can. Creed
reminds me of Jason Mantzoukas. You know who that is? Did you ever watch Good Place? You know, Kristen's obsessed with it. Or The League, fantasy football.
Oh.
He plays Rafi, the brother-in-law, who's always just...
Okay. You vaguely familiar. I can kind of picture him.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture. So there's a story. He reminds me of Creed a little bit. This guy.
Yes.
So he makes me laugh hard. Creed reminds me of him because he just doesn't care and he just kind of lets it flow and he can make it really awkward.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story about how his improv troupe didn't show up to a show and he's like, whatever, I'm going out there. And he went out for 45 minutes by himself and just annihilated the crowd.
Props. Absolute props to him. That's incredible.
I can't do that prepared.
45 minutes improv set is insane.
By yourself.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah. Okay. So working behind the scenes, obviously, you don't always get recognition. What does that teach you about like being humble or humility? Does it humble you?
Yeah. I don't know. I try to just always keep just brush it off my shoulder at the end of the night if I've screwed up.
Yeah.
By nature I get very stressed at everything.
Yeah.
And I try to just let it all go. If I've messed up and I know that I messed up, I will know what I've messed up. I'm so self-conscious. Like the second I do it, I'm like, oh, screwed up that. I just try to let it go by the end of the night. I try not to hold on to it for any longer than I need to.
Do you ever lose sleep over it?
I have absolutely lost sleep over some productions where just nothing has worked right for me.
I nitpick where I can go on and have a great set and I'll go back and listen to the audio. And if I hear one thing I messed up, I will toss and turn over all night.
Yeah, it does happen. I try to just let everything roll by and, wash it all away. But every once in a while, if something's just that bad and consistently bad, if I have like 3 shows in a week and all 3 of them just had issues throughout the shows, like I'm not sleeping for the next week until the next show.
Yeah.
It won't be until the next Thursday.
If it was up to you, there would be another show on the 4th day just to get the taste out of your mouth.
Yeah, just to have another show, just to do better. And my motto is always just do better than the last show.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can do is just do better than the last show. Let whatever happen behind and
so
pick it back up later.
Let's say you have a horrible show Friday and Saturday. Your next show is not till Thursday. What do you do to occupy your mind, or at least where do you find peace during that time? Or are you just a mess until the next show?
It depends on how busy I am that week.
Okay.
If I've got enough distraction, I can kind of just put it in the back of my mind and not think about it. If I'm not super busy that week and I've got too much downtime, I will sit there and brood.
Really?
Yeah.
You ever try and distract yourself by watching something or?
Yeah. I'll throw on a movie, throw on a show, whatever.
What's your go-to genre in that moment? Or is it just kind of a throwaway to distract yourself?
In that moment, I'll usually try to find. I'm a big anime watcher,
Right.
so I'll usually try to find just something with a really good story, preferably something a little bit more on the comedic side, but just a good story, even if it's a very serious drama, something just to help pull me into the show.
Okay. So obviously you aim towards comedy or comedic side just to kind of pull you in.
Mm-hmm.
You have
just
your
to lift your spirits a little bit,
you
laugh it off.
You have your background with improv. You're constantly joking with my wife, joking with me, whatever. Obviously humor plays a big part in your life.
Yeah.
What is the role of humor then for you?
I mean, it's pointless to never laugh.
Yeah.
You just need to laugh eventually at something. And people tend to say that I am very straight faced, much like we were talking about Trey. Like I tend to be very straight faced a lot. I often I'll make a joke, very dry joke with a straight face, and it's fun and fine and all that. But what I do really enjoy is when somebody catches me so off guard that I audibly laugh. Not just a little snicker or a deep, sharp breath through my nose, like an audible laugh uncontrollably where my face is hurting by the end of it. It's the joy. Moments. The joy that you get in that moment is so genuine and just freeing.
And there's something about laughing when you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Be it at church, a funeral, whatever. When you're trying everything you can not to laugh, those are my favorite moments.
Oh, happens in improv a lot when I'm either watching a show or even in a show. Somebody will say something a little bit more risque, and you can tell that the audience understood the risque part.
Yeah.
And they're trying to hold back a laugh, and then you try to hold back a laugh, and everyone can tell that they're trying not to laugh because, man, you really shouldn't laugh at this.
Yeah.
Until it builds up to the point where you just can't hold it. And everyone is all on the same page there.
The only SNL skits I will watch regularly are the ones where the actors are breaking.
Yeah.
Even if the audience isn't laughing. When there's nothing. And that's why, again, I don't like watching an edited down, perfected stand-up special. Show me the messiness.
Yes.
Show me the mistakes.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite moments I've ever witnessed. I went to see Christopher Titus. It was New Year's Eve, turning from 13 to 14. And he was in Salt Lake. And he's riffing on this bit, and he was killing it. And he stopped and goes, I want to finish this joke, but I forgot the effing punchline. And there was this moment where the crowd was laughing, and he just riffed on that for a minute. But it was so genuine. Like, it was still new enough. He had notes on the stage. Like, he was building this new hour. And he's like, I can't remember. And then finally he's like, it was Christmas. F you. Like, it was so, and then, as much as any of his set jokes made me laugh, that is a memory, like, I just held on to him. Like, he didn't care that something went wrong. He found a way to make it funny. He just owned it and kept going.
Well, so I had mentioned that Greg Belknap is one of the improvisers that will always get me to laugh. The thing that I find the funniest about him is he breaks all the time in the middle of a scene.
Yeah.
He cannot keep it together. If you say something funny, he will start laughing.
And that makes it.
And his laugh is so contagious. And just like the fact that he laughs so hard that he can't continue a scene, he just stopped the entire show so that he could laugh.
Yeah.
Is hilarious.
That's so great. And with Bald Nate, he can make me laugh with a facial expression.
Oh, Bald Nate.
He doesn't have to say a word.
No, Bald Nate is one of those pure gems that
I need to get him
you put him on a stage, he will make you laugh.
And it's his look. And going by Bald Nate, the same jacket, the tie, everything about him
that's his look.
Just makes me happy because it's him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if I went to his day job, whatever that is, that's how he would look.
Unfortunately, that is not how he looks. I have seen him outside of his performer outfit.
Does he live in Cedar or does he live here?
He lives in Cedar.
Okay, because we've been up to OTC a lot. Kristen knows the OTC guys a lot.
Really love OTC. Another talented bunch. Such a good group. And all genuine people.
We try and go to their birthday show as much as we can. Kristen was friends with TJ and Wendy for a while.
Yeah, I went to their birthday show this last year.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's cool. Good people. Balt Nate is one of my favorite people. He's just so genuine. Like, he's got his stage persona and he is hilarious. Yeah. But off stage, he's a nice guy.
He's a really so stand-ups and improvs have this like weird rivalry for some reason. I get it and I don't.
Different horses.
There's different horses. And I remember after the first Dynamic Wit show, Bald Nate was like, "Congratulations, I heard it went well, it sold out, blah, 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 blah." And then like a year and a half ago, I did a show here. There was only like 30 people here, and I went upstairs to wish them good luck. And Bald Nate was like, "Boo, just come make your stuff up in here with us." Like all of a sudden, like it turned, but it wasn't malicious. Like it was just him being him.
Yeah.
So, okay, and you're the same way. Like you're dry enough. Like you said, like I can count maybe on one hand the times I've seen you laugh out loud, but that's not because you're not having fun. You're just you. So had Kristen not warned me about who and how you are, it might have taken me a while to even talk.
I have very much resting bitch face. I have one emotion displayed on my face at any given point in time.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't have other emotions. I don't show emotion well.
I had a boss who would always say, like, his wife would always like, he doesn't have feelings. He's dead inside. And one time he accused Kristen of hurting his feelings. And she's like, "That's not true. You don't have feelings." And he goes, "No, I have one feeling and you hurt it." Like it was just that quick. And that's kind of how I picture you. So that's really why I wanted to interview you, is because I can be myself around you and not care. And for what you do backstage to make people sound good with little to no praise. And then the humor side of you, like all just blended in. So thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yep. My wife and I, my wife is 6 years older than me, and we did meet online. We met on Ancestry.com. 6 years older than me. That means when my wife graduated high school, I was still at recess. Like I remember being in elementary school, watching high school girls drive by, being like, "Oh, someday." Little did I know. Test. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Don't heckle me. Just kidding. That's my wife, by the way. As usual, it was my fault. That was my conversation with the great Chops. If you've ever been to any production at the Electric Theater in St. George or countless other productions, you've probably seen his work, and you didn't even realize it. So, whenever you do go see a show or a movie, as good as the actors make it, just remember there's a lot of people behind the scenes doing an amazing job making the actors look even better than they already are. And with that, find what's really making you laugh behind the scenes in your own life, because I'm sure there's someone that you might not recognize that is doing things to help lighten your load a little bit. If you find them, say thank you. And if you see a sound engineer, say thank you. And ask him if he can, give me better microphones for future interviews. Next week, another interview, another episode. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy your week.